Some protesters are unfazed by arrests, some even wearing it as some sort of a badge of honor. Listen to this.
We'll do what we always done. We'll get arrested, just like the criminals in the subway. They're always right back out in 24 hours.
This while New York City Mayor Adams says that outside actors had a heavy hand in creating the chaos that we saw at Columbia. Hoover Institution senior fellow Victor Davis Hanson joins us now. Victor, it's great to see you again. I saw you on television last night commenting on the live pictures and the chaos that was occurring on campus. Now that it's had some time to settle, obviously these kids in some ways are using that as a badge of honor and in some ways are vowing to continue onward, even if it's not necessarily on campus. And I use the term kid loosely because of these agitators that are mixed in. It's very, very organized. What's your takeaway on what we saw last night and where we stand today?
Well, I mean, they're phenomenon. They're mostly elite universities, not all, but elite universities in blue states and blue cities. And they're not happening in Florida, Texas, or Georgia. And when they do happen, there's a response. So the protesters in these particular places and campuses feel that the faculty is on their side, and they know that from past instruction. They take classes from the faculty. It's predominantly left-wing. They feel that anybody who can become a president at a Yale or Harvard or Stanford has to be left-wing, or at least until recently had to be. They feel the mayors in these cities sympathize with them. They look at 2020, the 120 days of Antifa and BLM riots with no consequences. So they feel empowered. And until somebody stands up and says no, they'll continue.
Talk to me about the faculty. I'm trying to understand the history of all of this, the root. Is this implanted in universities and faculties from the 60s, from the 80s? How are professors and faculties now getting in these institutions and creating this moment?
Well, the generation of 1968 came. Roger Kimball wrote a book called Tenured Radicals. They are predominantly leftists from the 60s, and they're in their 70s now. But under the DEI protocols of the last, 4 to 6 years, it's been increasingly radicalized. And then we have, don't forget, we have about 250,000 people from the Middle East that pay full tuition. So the faculty addresses that community, and the university sees them as exempt because they pay full tuition. That's another portion of it. But the other problem is that this is an archaic, ossified institution. It's the only place in America, really, where you have tenure. People in the corporate world don't have it. People in the private sector don't have it. So these people go to graduate school, they're indoctrinated, they go right into a faculty billet, and then after 5 easy years, they don't fire very many people. They get a lifetime free pass. So they know that anything they say or do, if they cancel class, they politicize, they separate Jews from non-Jews, they're not going to really face much so I don't think they're really faculty. I would just call them older students. They have the same mentality. They have the same morality. They have the same code of behavior as the students.
Let me ask you, Victor, quickly. There are some places in America that have not descended into chaos. They've figured it out. University of Florida says this is not a daycare. Get out of here. Students at UNC Chapel Hill raise the American flag again because that's what should fly at American University. Do you have some hope that some places are going to figure it out and set a new model for this ossified institution?
You put your finger on it when you said some hope, because all of the examples, and there's more of them, are all in what we would call purple or red states. So they get reinforcement from the mayors, the governors, the state legislature, and general population support. I mean, 65 or 75% of America supports Israel. And in these red states, that support is manifest. So the college presidents, even though they're on the left side of the ledger, they feel that if they were to appease the students and let the violence continue, there would be a pushback from the public, from the mayor, from the city council, and the governor. And that's not true in places like California, Illinois, New York,
Yes.
Minnesota.
Victor, always great to see you. Thank you so much for your